Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Israel marks 2 years since the Palestinian onslaught of southern Israel, while in parallel celebrates the biblical festival of tabernacles. President Donald Trump notes optimism over prospects of a comprehensive hostage release deal materializing. The Islamist Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya voices hope for a victory over Israel and the terror group's proclaimed conquest of Jerusalem. Today marks 2 years since the Palestinian Islamist Hamas and its terror affiliates acted upon their self-proclaimed intentions to eliminate the state of Israel by committing genocide against the people of southern Israel, murdering almost 1,200, mostly civilians, wounding over 4,800 others, and kidnapping over 250 individuals, including men, women, infants, children, and elderly, murdering many of them in the process. In tandem, Israelis are observing the Feast of Tabernacles this week in accordance with the biblical commandment as it is explicitly articulated in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 33 onward. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, hosting a group of rabbis on the eve of the feast's week-long celebration, proclaimed that the 4 species that relate to verse 40 of Leviticus chapter 23 essentially represents the people of Israel.
ארבעת המינים זה ביטוי מאוד מדויק לעם ישראל. כל אחד שונה וביחד עם אחד. והאחדות הזאת של מורשת ישראל היא שנותנת לנו את הכוח להביס את אויבינו, בעזרת השם בקרוב להביא את כל חטופינו, ולהבטיח יחד את נצח עם ישראל בארץ ישראל. חג סוכות שמח לכל עם ישראל.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu voiced hope for a speedy return of all 48 hostages who have now endured 732 days in brutal Hamas captivity, amid Israeli and Palestinian negotiators holding indirect talks in Egypt's sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh in an effort to come to an agreement about the first stage of President Trump's proposed outline to end the conflict. The issues that are reportedly being discussed include the lines of IDF redeployment proposed by President Trump, which Hamas reportedly has demanded to be revised. A second and more volatile issue is the composition of incarcerated Palestinian arch-terrorists whom Israel will release in exchange for the hostages. Hamas intends to demand that Israel release all of the so-called heavyweight prisoners who have been serving multiple life-term sentences over the murder of countless lives, to include Israelis, Americans, Germans, and other Western civilians. Moreover, Hamas also intends to demand that Israel release members of its elite Nukhba force who were arrested in Israeli territory during the course of and following the October 7th massacre of 2023.
אחיי ואחיותיי, אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו על סף הישג גדול מאוד. זה עדיין לא סופי, אנחנו עובדים על כך במרץ, ואני מקווה בעזרת השם שבימים הקרובים, עוד במהלך חג הסוכות, אוכל לבשר לכם על השבת כל חטופינו, החיים והחללים כאחד, בפעימה אחת, כשצה"ל נשאר בעומק הרצועה ובשטחים השולטים בה. הכוונה שלנו, והכוונה של ידידינו האמריקנים, היא לתחום את המשא ומתן הזה בימים בודדים. ושמעתם את הנשיא טראמפ הערב. הוא אמר בבירור, לא נסבול לו תרגילי דחייה, משיכת זמן או התחמקות מצד החמאס. עכשיו, בשלב השני, החמאס יפורק מנשקו והרצועה תפורז. זה יקרה או בדרך מדינית, לפי תוכנית טראמפ, או בדרך צבאית, על ידינו.
Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv, German Foreign Minister Johann Vadeful, during a working visit to Israel, stressed that Hamas must accept the deal as is, while Israel has a responsibility to ensure that the separate steps of the deal are implemented following the release of the hostages.
Wir begrüßen, dass Israel diesem Plan zugestimmt hat. Jetzt ist Hamas am Zug. Israel ist damit auch in der Verantwortung, dass ein Übergang zwischen den verschiedenen Phasen des Plans gelingt. Wir brauchen den Waffenstillstand für Gaza jetzt so schnell es geht, damit die Geiseln freikommen und damit die humanitäre Katastrophe in Gaza endlich ein Ende findet. Die großen Fragen des Tags danach dürfen nicht dazu führen, dass wir nicht jetzt zu einer Friedenslösung den ersten Einstieg schaffen. Die Gespräche der letzten Tage stimmen mich zuversichtlich, dass das auf allen Seiten angekommen ist. Genau das habe ich heute auch mit meinem israelischen Kollegen Gideon Saar in einem sehr freundschaftlichen Gespräch wieder erörtert. Israel wird Kompromisse eingehen müssen, um die Geiseln freizubekommen.
Berlin's top diplomat further highlighted the internationally aspired two-state solution, since President Trump's 21-point deal clearly states, quote, "When Gaza's redevelopment has been advanced and the Palestinian Authority reform program has been implemented, the conditions may be in place for a credible path to Palestinian statehood, which is recognized as the aspiration of the Palestinian people." Nevertheless, it's important to underscore that the United States does not commit to Palestinian statehood. Rather, the plan limits America's engagement, quote, "The U.S. will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful coexistence." Meanwhile, at the White House, President Donald Trump voiced optimism regarding the implementation of the deal.
I think we're going to have it soon. I think we're going to have a deal. It's a hard thing for me to say that when for years and years they've been trying to have a deal with Gaza, but literally for centuries, okay, if you really think about it. But we're going to have a Gaza deal, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
President Trump continued by underlining that he does have red lines for Hamas and stressed that the Palestinian terror group was doing fine.
No, I have red lines. If certain things aren't met, we're not going to do it. But I think we're doing very well, and I think Hamas has been agreeing to things that are very important.
Meanwhile, in Doha, Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman Majid al-Ansari refused to voice optimism over implementation of President Trump's plan.
حقيقة لا يمكن وضع أي تعبير سواء كان متفائلا أو متشائما أو غير ذلك على المفاوضات. المفاوضات جارية. نحن ملتزمون بهذه الخطة بالشكل التي عرض، ملتزمون بالوصول لنهاية لهذه. الآن وقت مبكر نحن نتحدث عن أي بدائل لأي خطط. نحن نتحدث عن تنفيذ هذه الخطة وتطبيق هذه الخطة. الأطراف جميعها وافقت على هذه الخطة، وبالتالي ليس هناك الآن حواجز من حيث الموافقة على 20 نقطة التي وردت في خطة الرئيس ترامب. العقبات الآن هي في التطبيق.
It is important to underscore that objectively, Hamas did not accept the deal. Rather, it stated that it is willing to implement the deal so long as the United States accepts a number of revisions. Therefore, there are concerns within the Arab and Muslim camp, which supports Hamas, that once the hostages are released, the war in Gaza may likely reignite.
هذا مذكور نصا في الخطة بأن تسليم الرهائن سيكون نهاية الحرب، ونحن ملتزمون بذلك، والولايات المتحدة قالت أنها ملتزمة بذلك، وكل الأطراف ملتزمة بها.
هناك مخاوف من استئناف الحرب بعد
مخاوف، كلنا لدينا مخاوف من استئناف الحرب طبعا، وهذا ما حدث سابقا في.
It is important to point out that Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya, whose entire entourage, to include his son, were eliminated in Israel's strike on a gathering of the terror group in Qatar, made a first televised appearance, during the course of which he asserted that the blood of the slain terrorists would pave the path to Hamas's victory against Israel, to include the conquest of Jerusalem and eradication of the Jewish state.
لكن نسأل الله عز وجل أن تكون دماءهم طريق للنصر، طريق للقدس، طريق لخزي هذا الاحتلال ورده بإذن الله عز وجل، وطريق لعزة الأمة ونصرها، وأن تعود الأمة مجددا لترفع راياتها بإذن الله عز وجل.
Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv, a prayer gathering was held by members of the hostage families, during which they voiced hope for the imminent return of all Israeli hostages.
It has been more than 2 years that our brothers and sisters are captives in Gaza. When we've heard the news from President Trump on Friday evening, We were very emotional and excited about the potential upcoming release of all of our brothers and sisters from captivity in Gaza. So we've decided to join our forces, come to Hostage Square, and gather in praying for that moment to finally come after so many days of captivity.
It's a spontaneous praying after we heard all the news for the last 2 days, and we pray for all our hopes to come true and all the hostages to come soon, like President Trump said, in 72 hours. And that's what we are trying to make, to make ourselves strong and pray.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. If you're blessed by our updates, which are exclusively donation-based, we would like to encourage you to support TV7 with a donation. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. We would like to also encourage you to keep praying for all of the hostages in Gaza. Pray also for the Christians and Druze in southern Syria and the Christian community in Nigeria. And last, but certainly not least, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you a Chag Sukkot Sameach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.